Hi, folks. I'm back and you're back, so welcome back. Today I'll be walking you through Pinball Wizard by Matthew Williams of MW Puzzles, who is a mechanical engineer that specializes in metal puzzles. Currently, he's making a trio of puzzles based on classic arcade machines. This is the second in the series. The first in the series is Bandit right here, which is based off of a slot machine, as you can see. Pinball Wizard is my favorite of the two. It's a bit more fun, easier solve, so that's why I'm going to be showing you this one. The third in the series has yet to be announced, but that should be dropping anytime soon, hopefully. The really cool thing about this puzzle is that as you progress through the solve, you follow the steps you would take as if you were playing an actual pinball machine. So for example, the flippers on the side move, as does the plunger, just like an actual pinball machine. 250 of these were slated to be made, but ultimately I believe the number was around 200, 210. They come in blue and purple as well, but if you're over 4 years old and not colorblind, you can see that I got the red version. So on the back here, we do have a card that's got our instructions and our goals, some things for us to be aware of. All right, there are four main goals to this. First is play pinball. Then find your unique issue number, win the trophy, and ultimately have fun. There are some rules, not going to read that, but here we go. So you'll see there's a slot at the front, and there's a hole on the side here, and underneath it there is a hole here, and there is a wheel that spins around with a hole inside of it as well. So we're going to be finding some tools to help us achieve the objectives. So if this were a real arcade game, the first thing that you need to do is you need to pay to play. Nowadays, you'll have a player card or something you'd put into the machine that has your credits on it, but with this being a classic arcade game, we would need to use a quarter or a token. So you'll see that there's the MW's logo on this side, but on the other side we have a coin that also has the MW logo on it. And there is some movement to it. You may be able to hear that. You may not, but that is our coin. We just need to retrieve it. So the knob above it is actually a false screw. We can move this up just a little bit, and that will allow us to press down on the top of the coin and retrieve it. You can see that this knob held that coin into place. So we now have our coin that we can insert into the front of the pinball machine. And that will release the magnet that will free the pinball that's stuck at the bottom of the machine. So when we press that in, the ball drops and it comes out of this hole right here. We can now put the ball in the shooter lane, like so, and we can pull back on the plunger to release the ball into the playing field. Now I am holding it, so if this were on a flat surface, this would fall perfectly like a normal pinball machine would, and you can play pinball and achieve the first objective of this puzzle. The second, though, is to find our unique issue number, which is at the top. Along the top of the back box here, there are several different things. They could be buttons, at least that's the impression that they give. But to find the first number in the issue number, what we're going to do is we're going to line up the pinball with a little divot that is right above the left flipper there. So we're going to get that to go into place, and there we go. You'll see that that stood in place as we wanted. And then we're going to press the left flipper, and it's going to ricochet off of this bumper here. You need to do it with a little bit of force. I'm just going to turn it this way to do that, but we'll see what happens once we hit that bumper with the right force. Oh, there we go. So out pops this screw held in place with the spring, and that's activated again once you hit that left flipper hard enough. So we have our first tool here. It does fit in the bottom wheel, but nothing happens with how long the thread is. And it also does fit under here. Goes all the way in, but no, it doesn't activate anything yet. But I neglected to say, and shame on me, that there also is a hole right here, which is where we're going to stick that first tool. We can stick that in and start to screw that in place. And once that's screwed in, we can press in, and two different things are going to happen. So I'll do this a couple of times for demonstration's sake. The first is that the first pin pops up to reveal a 1. So this puzzle is numbered 100 and something. The second thing that happens is on the playing field itself, you'll notice that this spot came up and behind it, which is known in pinball as a scoop or saucer, came down. So I'll show you again what that looks like. Toggle that back and forth. You can see the one pop up, the other go down. So now that we've revealed the saucer, the scoop, we're going to get the pinball into that hole, and we're going to move the pinball down so it goes underneath this spot. Then what we'll do is we will raise the scoop up and lower this pin, or this tool. We'll remove our first tool, and then we can place it in the hole at the bottom. And we've got the pinball underneath this piece to act as an extension for this tool to press up, like so. So now we can go ahead and we can put the pin back in where we had it initially. And this time when we press in, the pin will be retrievable for us to pull out. Very small, you can't see it, but I can now twist this tool or unscrew it, and we see a smaller tool. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead, and this does fit into the threads of this wheel, just like the other, but it's got a longer thread that we want. So I'm just going to screw this in, and there are a couple of spots that this screw will fit into as we continue to thread it. So we're going to screw it in all the way. And when we do that, that rotates the compartment within this center wheel here. Now, I apologize for this being so difficult to see, but there is a compartment that rotates that has a gap in it. You might be able to kind of see it. The compartment is white, but we are going to get the ball in that hole, of course. So I need to get the ball back. Currently, it's underneath the playing field. So we'll go ahead and retrieve that. And now that that's back in play, we can get it in this compartment. And once that's in, we just need to rotate the wheel so it falls into the compartment. There we go. And we are going to rotate it so the ball is at the back of that object. And the ball will drop into a slight recess. You won't be able to turn it. You'll feel friction. But if you continue to turn that knob, out pops the second pin. So we see the issue number is 180 something. All right, so we've got one more number to go. I'm going to retrieve the ball again because we are going to need that for the third number. All right, now for the third one. The third one I think is the hardest, but something for us to be aware of is that something else happened when we pushed this in, this tool. Yes, we know the first pin popped up. We know that these pieces also moved, but a third thing happened with this piece over here. We know that the other side was a false screw, so that's some indication that this one may be as well. And now that this pin is in, this allows us to press in on this false tool, and that allows this whole piece to shoot out a little bit. I did speak with the creator who said that in some of the newer versions there is a crack intentionally or a piece that's cut in the shooter lane to help aid in the shooter lane jutting out a little bit. What we want to do is we want to put the ball in, pull back on the plunger while pushing in this button. It's very similar to the first move or the first pin where we had the ball here and activate the tool that's here. This time what we want to do is we want the ball to ricochet off of this peg at the top here. So we press in with one hand, and the other hand we pull back and release. And there we go. That third one did pop up. Wasn't the easiest with me doing this not on a flat surface, but we see that our number is 181. So there's a lot of steps involved in this object, but this was the second objective. The third thing that we need to do is we just need to find out or win our trophy. We have not yet done anything with these two pieces. Again, we think that they might be buttons, but they're actually not. So for this last one, we're going to need another object. We can use the ball or we can use the small pin that went underneath the machine. I find it easier to use this pin. You'll notice there's a magnet right here on this piece. Otherwise, at the angle I'm holding, it would have fallen off. If you press down, that increases the magnetism. And now you can definitely see that that screw is held in place. And that's what we want. We want the magnet to be enhanced, if you will. And that allows us to slide the back box. We could go to the right a little bit, like that, but we want to really go to the left. And when we go to the left, out pops our trophy. So see our 3D trophy with the MW logo on it as our grand objective achieved. And of course, the last objective on the card is to have fun, but in my opinion, that was happening the entire time. Just playing pinball is very cool on this small scale, but then all of the little puzzles and tools and how to play pinball to further progress in the solve really just added to the experience. So hope you enjoyed this one as much as I do. Maybe not, because it's more fun to play with it than to watch it, but highly encourage you to check out his website and wait to see when that third one is going to be released, because if it's anything like the first two, it's going to be amazing. Until next time, have a great day.